Hi everyone, welcome to Flutter series. This series is your complete guide to learn Flutter from absolute beginner to the advanced level. We'll walk you through every concept and with a simple explanation and with the practical projects. So, without wasting time, let's get started. The first question that arises: what is this Flutter? So, Flutter is an open source and it's a cross platform to build a beautiful apps. And the next question is, what is this cross platform? So a cross platform is nothing but if you write the code once, which has all capability to run the same code in different platform, either it could be Android or it could be iOS, and even in the desktop apps. So you don't have to learn different languages like Java to build an Android app and Shift to build an iOS app separately. So if you check it out, the what are the apps that we build that are built using this Flutter is all the Google apps like Google Pay, Google Earth, Google Classroom, Google Ads, and Google Cloud, Google Analytics. All these apps were built using Flutter, and few other apps like Vault, Altas, Headspace, and many more like Google Classrooms, Monta. All this were all built using the Flutter. Before we begin, let's make sure we have few things set up on our in our laptop or the system. So first, make sure you have your Flutter SDK installed and ensure it is properly added to your system path. And also install the Android Studio, which gives your Android emulators and all necessary tools that needed to run and debug your app. And finally, make sure all your environment values are all been set up properly so the Flutter command works smoothly in your system. So once it's all done, we are ready to get started with building the apps that you like. Let's start with the making a simple UI screen for today. So let's try to do the simple UI where you're just showcasing some image and some button and some app bar. So today we'll learn how to code in the Flutter and how to run the Flutter code base. So I hope you have installed all the requirement that I've mentioned earlier, that is Android Studio and Flutter SDK. Okay, now let's understand the anatomy of the Flutter. So as I told in this video, we'll be learning about how do we create this UI, right? So in Flutter, you have to understand one thing, that whenever you want to create a UI, just remember it's just like a blank screen. What you are seeing is like imagine it's an your Android iOS cell phone, where when you want to do an UI to it, it's just a blank screen where you're sketching whatever the component we want. And always remember, in Flutter, we already have many pre-built widgets. These are like a pre-built widgets that the Flutter has been provided for a developers to make their work easier, so that we don't have a difference in the Android and iOS cell phones. So we have badge, we have linear progress indicator, just using all these pre-built widgets, and we are just customizing and we are using how we want it. So let's say if you want to create this UI, it is just an theory, listen it properly, so we can get this concept will be much more easy when we started coding. So first thing what we want to do is just create a blank screen. The blank screen is nothing but an scaffold. We usually create this scaffold so that we can create a app bar easily, that what you see here. First let's create a scaffold. Scaffold is nothing but a blank screen. So this is the scaffold what you are seeing, it's just a blank screen. Okay, upon this we want two things. One is an app navbar called as cache log, another one is an column with the two elements. So as I told, if you are new, like if you have already studied the web development and all, the few concepts that we have taken uh, in the Flutter, like row, column, just for the placement of elements. If you have no idea about web development, fine, we'll learn it today. first what we want this app bar, and scaffolder we can create a app bar which is like a element. This is a widget. Okay, remember this is a widget where we are just writing the app bar. Okay, later if you could see there is two elements we need to place. So what you have to do is this is in the direction of column. What is row, what is column? I think you people know. Row is like one after the other, column is one under the other. So what we'll do is we'll just place a column widget. Very important. What is this? It's called as column widget. Okay, I think you understood this. We'll just take this and just take this arrow again, or create one more arrow and write it here. Just place it right here and write it as a column. Okay, this is a column. So basically this is an column widget, so which needs two things. First thing is we are placing an image, and second thing is we are placing an button. So this how simple UI in the Flutter has been created. All you have to remember is it is like a blank screen, and we are using a pre-built widgets like app bar. Inside the app bar, if you could see, we are using a text. We also have the text widget. Okay, for image we have a widget, so we are just using it and we are placing it. This is how simple it is. So if I could quickly show you in the map, in the tree widget, observe it properly. The first thing what we did in the same app screen, we have just created a blank screen called scaffold. Inside that we did two things. One is we need an app bar, and another one is center. Why did we created this center image? Let's say if you have not created that, so what will be the condition is all these things would have been stacked up right under here, which is not center. So to make it center, we just created an widget called center. I can just write it here, one more rectangle. Just create one more rectangle and show you how the center would look. Let's send this back. Okay, just put some color, light colors to that. It's already there, but it is not showing. Just bring it front. Fine, it's just irritating. Okay, so that we have created a center, and it's in a column wise. If it is in the row wise, the same thing will be stacked up one next to other. Okay, that's all. We have an image and we have a button. So this is how the UI or the anatomy of the Flutter works. So we'll do the same thing in the code and understand how this works. First, let's start with creating a project, creating a new Flutter project. So we are in the Android Studio right now. If you open it, if you have recent file, you'll see the list of file. If not, it will be all clear. A none file will be seen. So what you have to do first to create a Flutter project is go right here, click on new Flutter project, and you have to set the SDK, the file path where you want to store the project. Click on the next, and you have to give a name to the project. So let's name this as a simple UI screen. So click on create. So the moment we click on a create button, so it is going to install all requirement setup which is need to create a Flutter project. Once it's done, you'll see the screen, you'll see the project that we have created, that is simple UI screen, and we got all the files. And one thing you have to remember here is this is the project setup that it is also already been gave to us. This is the readme file. When you push this code to the GitHub, this file will be first shown in the GitHub. So you have to remember that. So make sure whenever you push the code of your project, make changes in the readme, then push. And if you go inside this lib, you'll see the main.dat. This is the main file. This is the main file where you are going to make changes, where it is like an entry point to the whole project. So let's try to run this and see what is the default app that we have. To start the emulator, what you have to do is just go to the device manager, make sure whatever device you have selected, to select the device you have to add the new device, and you have to create a new virtual device and select whatever the device you want. Have selected Pixel 9 Pro, so I'll just start this virtual machine first. So it takes little time to get started. The moment when it started, you have to go inside running device, where it will be get displayed. If you enable this device manager and click on the device that you want, and make sure you have selected the Pixel 9 here, and click on the run button, so that the main dot file will it will run. So the moment it will run, it will open the terminal and it start running. So as soon as we run the default app that we have got, default project that we have created, we have this counter app. As we click on this button, the number of the count changes. So this is the old app. So but our main aim of the today's video is to create a simple UI, right? So let's get started. So you might be all overwhelmed after seeing this a lot of code here which you don't even understand. So let's do one thing, just remove everything, and I'll start from the beginning so you can understand each and every step. Before that, you have to understand one thing. If you could see there in the previous code or now, we are trying to import a material app, the material thing from the Flutter, and you might be wondering why we are importing it, right? We all know this Flutter has been created, or I mean it's been given by Google. They invented all these things, and we also know we have a Google design. This the Google material design. This is just a concept or the style that the some of the component that we are been using, like scaffold or text or the button. What are the built? Some of the components are there. All these things, they follow this. The style of colors or few things, the style or the guide, it has been given by the Google. So first let's import that material, material. Okay, and the next thing is, if you have watched my Dart course, if you didn't, it is recommended for you people to go and watch that series also, so it becomes easy for you to learn. Or else also it's fine, because in this series also in between I'll be teaching a few Dart concepts, so you don't feel not been learned. So let's get started. So the next thing is, as we know, the main file is the entry file for running all this code, and this inside this main file we want a main function that runs all this. So let's create a function called okay, let's create a main function called void main. See, when the code runs, when we hit the button run, the first function, the first file it sees is the main dot file, and the first thing that runs inside this main file is this main function. So what you have to write inside this main function, how you want your UI to render. That is the first thing you are doing. So if I just bring this here, now it's showing some error because we have not created anything, it's just a screen. So let's do something. We want to run the app. Inside this, what we want a material. We are using a material app. What is this material app? As I explained previously, just make sure you end it with a semicolon. Material app are follow the guides that is given by the material design that has been provided by Google. So whatever the component that we use has few styles that has been imported from this material app. So it's just an style or thing that we got from the Google, that easy for us to use the pre-built widgets. So what we have to first do, just inside this material app, if you click control space, we'll get few properties. properties like color, title, debug, home. We have to click on home. What is the first thing I thought here? The first thing that we learned is we first have to replace, we first have to put in blank screen, so it's easy for us to sketch any other things. So first, let's create a widget called scaffold. So how do we create a scaffold? I'll just go here, write scaffold. So as I told, everything that is going inside, everything that you want to place inside a screen, it should be an widget. Okay. Inside scaffold, if I again press Control space, you'll get a set of attributes or set of things that you can place inside it. We have a body, we have background, we have bottom navigation, we have app bar, etc, etc. So whenever you feel stuck, whenever you don't know where to search this widgets, which are the widgets are there, do visit the Flutter website. So in the Flutter docs, you'll see all the widgets that is necessary. If you want an app bar, if you want a badge, you can just click on this. It will take to the main screen. You can read everything, and there's few example also given. So if you're stuck somewhere, do follow or do learn or get the inspiration, get the how to do this from the docs. So come back to the similar one. Okay, we have first created a scaffolder. As I mentioned over here, scaffolder is done. The next thing what we want is this app bar. So to get the app bar, we already have the widget. So let's go back to the code. So if I again click on Control space, if I search here, there's an property called app bar. If I click on the app bar, this app bar widget takes the inside the app bar widget. What we want a app bar where we want a title. What the title is? Cache. Okay, very important. Each and every element is the widget. I told no, even if you want to write a text or a title or anything, let's create. First is we want a title. The title is been given by the text. It's called as cache log, and click on save. Make sure you just re-render it. Just click on re-render, so it just get refreshed again. Okay, if you could observe here, we got a name called cache log, which is an app bar inside this app bar. So I'll explain it properly. Listen. First, what we did, we just inserted a plain blank screen that is called scaffold. Inside that, we wanted an app bar and with the text. As I told, each element will be inside and widget. Even text is a widget. Inside that, we are placing a text. Clear? And we want a background color. So we'll just click on the background color. So how do we select this color? As I told, from the material we are getting few kind of style like text. All this widgets has been made by this material only. So I'll just write a colors dot, which has been imported from the material. Which color we want a black color. So if I control hit and save, make sure it reruns again, reloads again. You can see the app bar in the black color. Clear? The next thing we want is, if you could observe closely, there's something called debug label, right? This is mainly to tell you that this what you are doing is in the development stage. So if you don't want, you can just get rid of this by going inside the scaffold. We have this something called as not inside the scaffold, inside this material app bar, we have something called debug show check. Just click on that and make sure you make this as a false, so the debug thing will be removed. Yeah, it is removed. The next thing, we want to make this text as white color. So inside this text widget, we have few properties. One of the properties is the text style. Click on the style and we have something called as text style widget. Inside that, what we have to write, we want to write a color. And what color we want? we want a colors dot white. When I do this and hit the button control save, the text will be automatically turned into the white color. If you could see, we already got this. If you want to do more style like giving a font size or font weight or background color height, decoration, anything can be given here. Okay, so and one more thing is make sure okay, the next thing is we have created the app bar. You can use this arrow to toggle in and toggle off, so it gives a proper structure. So inside the scale folder we already placed an app bar. The next thing we wanted here is, see, first what we did, a scaffold is done, app bar we have placed, inside that we wanted a text and we have placed the text also. The next thing we wanted this column where there's a two element, one is image, one is a button, and which is placed in the center. Let's first not create this widget called center, let's create a column, we'll place this, then let's see why we have created this center. Okay, next we have to place a column right here, right? So we have a body inside the scaffolder. Inside the body we can place this. It is just like a stack, it is like positioning, you are putting the element one after the other, that's all. So inside the body what we want a column. Click on the column, and column are like a it takes more than one element. See, one thing is inside this text widget which takes only one element, right? But a column, why do you create a column if there is more than two elements? Why do we create a row if it is more than two elements, more than one element? So column usually takes our children. It is an array, which means it has many elements. Okay, what the element we want? We want two element, one the image and second element is and button. So what we'll do, we'll use very important is we have to use comments, so that when you work in a team, others in your teammates can refer what you have written. So we want an image and we want a button. So before that we'll just write here also, it is an app bar that we have created, and the second that we are creating is an the main content, that is an column, main column we are creating. Okay, we want an image. So whenever you want to get the image either from the URL or from the current directory, so let's try to get the image from the URL. So for that we have a widget called image dot network. So inside that I can just give the link to it. Okay, to get any kind of images, Unsplash is one of the good resources. If you have any other resources also, it's fine. Just get an image address, copy the image address, come back to the code, paste that image address, and make sure you have reloaded. Paste that image right here and reload it. Save that and reload the page, so that your image that you have got that link from the Unsplash could able to be seen in the screen. So if you could see in the mobile screen, you are seeing an image. The first thing is done, you successfully have placed this image. The second thing is we wanted this button. So let's go below the button commands. Let's create a button. We have a widget called a button, that is a floating button. Just create a floating action button. Inside the on press, just make sure to create an arrow function. Then if you have no idea about arrow function, do check the Dart series that I have created. So inside this, just click on the just go below it, click on the control space. The floating button takes two things. One is what the text takes the child. Okay, inside this child, okay, just make sure this is here, come right below. We want a child. The child is nothing but a text, right? Inside that, what we want, a text called get started. So just write get started. The moment when you do this and reload the whole page, you'll able to see this button where you'll see the text called get started. So let's do one thing. Let's give some styling to this, like first add the background color, that is like colors dot black. Okay, and at the same time let's go here and write the style, that is text style, which is a color of white. Okay, now let's create the second element. Okay, now let's create a second element, that is a button. So whenever you want to create a button, there's a lot of buttons in the button widgets or button variants in the Flutter, like icon button, floating button, material button. There are like many. So for now, let's use a simple that is called a material button. Let's keep this on pressed as a normal function. Okay, so just keep it as none. Inside that, we want a child, which is kind of a text. So let's write a text as get started. The moment when we do, we have to get a button. Just make sure you reload or hit the control save button, so you can see the get started button here. And after this, just add a color to it. The color should be colors dot a black color we want, and at the same time make sure the text what you have created should be the color of, it is a text style, should be of the color of white. So hit save and click on the refresh or reload the button, so you'll get a black button with the white color text inside it. Okay, next, if you want to increase its padding or something, you can just go right below the color. We have many options. Hit on the control space, you'll get many attributes like autofocus, elevating that height, focus, and padding. To create a padding, we have a edge insights, that is an widget. So click on that. If you click on edge inside dot, we have many things. It can be 0, we can make the all padding 0, or symmetric, that is like all horizontal. The vertical side you can give separately, and horizontal you can give only, means you can give a separate for left, right, and all means for all side you're giving a padding. Let's take 16 or a 12 on a control. So we get a padding to the button of 16 or 12. Okay, now we are done with the second thing, that is we have created a column where I have two elements. One is an image, another one is in text. If you want to decrease height and width of image, you can just go right after this link, use comma, come back here. You have many options like width, height. Keep width and height like 400, hit on the save button or reload the thing, so the image sets to 400 on the height and width. The next thing is we want to keep the both of this element right in the center. So what you'll do, whenever you want to keep this element right in the center, just go right here, close everything. You will able to see the scaffold. I'll just give the background color, so you can able to identify that. Colors dot, let's give amber, let's give gray. Okay, so if I give a gray color and hit on the reload or refresh or save the thing, what you see, the overall blank screen is a gray color. I think you got the clear picture about what is scaffolder. You can just change the color to white, gray. This is how you change the overall color. Okay, I think it's clear. The next thing is we have created two things. One is an app bar that you are seeing here. Inside app bar, we have used the app bar widget, where we have given the background color and we have given the title. The title, which takes the text widget named as cache log, and we have given some kind of style. You can give any what you want. The next thing is we have this body. Inside the body of this scaffold, we have this column is like the element will be sitting right below the one other, and it is a children, which means it is more than one element, which takes an image and takes a button. Clear? In order to make this column in center, what we'll do, just click on here, you'll see an bulb kind of thing. Just wrap the whole thing with the center, so that instead of you removing everything, it will be automatically kept or wrap the whole thing as a center. The moment you do this, the whole thing have to be placed inside the center. So now the element have shifted from here to the center. So I'll show you again. If there is no if we just remove this element, and if I refresh the whole thing, the element will be here. See, the element have came to the left side. So to just make it as center, what we'll do, we'll wrap the whole thing with the center widget. We could not able to see the center widget. Okay, yeah, here we are. We wrap the whole thing, so it just moved from the left to the center. Clear? The next thing is we want to bring it little down, which means we have to make this center in the vertically, right? Horizontally we made it as center, vertically to make it a center. As I told, it's a column. So column have few kind of elements. If you know the web design and all, in column to make it, if you have used flex and all, you can easily make it as align the element to be center or justify it as center, right? Same way in the column widget we have few elements like main axis alignment. Main axis is, it is aligning to the axis, that is towards the vertical it is aligning. So I'll just write a main axis alignment dot, we wanted to place that as center. So moment we do it and hit the save button, this element have to be placed in the center. See, we're almost done with the thing we wanted to do. Okay, and if you want to keep a little space between this both, you can just add a something called sized box. See, we have an image and we have a button, right below this. You can use something called as sized box. Make sure it is separated by comma because these are children's, and you can just give the height, how much distance you want to keep a space between them, let's say 15. That much space of gap you'll see between them. See, 30 will be good. And if you are willing to give the button to be width more, the full width is, just come right here in the material button, give the width, minimum width as, can give minimum width it as like 250 or something. So it just occupies a little, it just makes the button little width, minimum width it will give. So this is how it looks. You can even give the padding as 16, which make it little bigger, kind of sort of. See, this is how it looks. Started spelling is wrong, just write the correct spelling, and we almost did the UI we wanted. So let's go and check it out. See here, what we wanted a app. So what we wanted a scaffolder, and we have created that. Under it we have created an app bar, that is this one, and we placed the entire thing in the center. So because it could placed in the center instead of being in the left, and inside that we have created column which takes two things, image and the button. And if it comes to an image thing, images are here. We are using this image.network, which nothing but you are getting this link or address of the image from the external source. What if you want to get the image from the internal folder? So to get the internal folder from the internal folder, you have to do this one simple thing. Just go to the pubspecs.yaml, just scroll down. Okay, here they have commented something called as, to add the asset you have to uncomment this. Just remove this one unnecessary line, which is, or just make sure you just commented that. And what is this pubspecs.yaml? See here, the commented what you're seeing is it's not 2/. In the previous I told if you use 2/, which is representing a comment, but in this file, this is a YAML file, which is nothing but a YAML arrant markup file language. So in this file, it only thinks about the indentation. Okay, to avoid confusion, let's remove all these comments. Let's remove all the unnecessary comments. So we'll get to know how this indentation is played. So we'll remove all unnecessary stuff. Just remove this also. Come back up, remove the whole two things. Okay, for now it's good, I feel like. Okay, for here if you could see, everything has been aligned to the left, right, and whatever is being given with the 2 space, it is considered as the children of the first session. So the Flutter, after Flutter, if you could see, there's a user material which is a children of this, and if you want the asset to make it as a children, make sure give a one just make sure copy everything, use shift tab so it is shifted right up there, and make sure it is properly aligned. If not, give one space back so indentation is properly aligned, and remove unnecessary things. Okay, this is the asset. Okay, we have created the asset, and under this we want to place an images, that is a flow folder we have to create. Whatever the things you put inside this folder, it should be accepted, but we have not created a folder yet. So come back here, right click on the new directory, create a images folder. The moment when you do it, what it does is whatever that comes under the folder of image, and you don't have to mention what is the image. If you just leave it with the /, it takes that whatever the images come will be accepted. So make sure you run the pub get, so whatever the changes happen in the pub spec will be seen, it will be gone through once. Okay, now what I did is I've just placed the image that I've seen here, whatever image we have taken from the URL, right? I've just downloaded and place it right inside this folders. So my next job is, instead of using this the network thing, let's try to use the actual image that we are getting from here. To use that, we just have to write image dot assets and come right here, click on the copy or the path reference, copy the path reference. Okay, inside the string, inside 2:, just paste the same thing and make sure you run this. Just make sure save it and run. So I'll see the images what you have been did using the network, same images, it will be reloaded. Now if you give the same height and width of 400, you'll get the same image, something like this. So you have seen the two kinds of loading an image. One is using image.network, that is you are getting a URL from outside, and also an image that you can get inside from the folders of your projects. That's all for the today's video. We just created a simple UI. You all have to just understand how to work with the widgets. So I recommend you people to go and see the docs of the Flutter, understand what are the widgets are there. Try to use different widgets. Practice a lot, which makes you perfect. So thank you.